Don't get grease on my dress in front of my colleagues. 5 words. That's all it took to destroy 6 years of marriage. My name is Jake Martinez, and I'm about to tell you how my wife humiliated me at a company barbecue, chose her boss over me, and came home to find everything gone. But here's what I need you to tell me in the comments. If your spouse embarrassed you like this in public, would you forgive them or walk away? Because I tried to put my arm around Rebecca at her energy company's annual barbecue, and she recoiled like I'd contaminated her. Her wine glass nearly slipped from her manicured fingers. The entire management team went silent. 25 executives in polo shirts and khakis watching my wife jerk away from me like I was covered in motor oil. Her smile never faltered. That perfect practice smile she saves for clients and superiors. Don't get grease on my dress in front of my colleagues, she whispered again, smoothing her designer sundress like I'd actually stained it. David Walsh stood 6 feet away, flipping burgers on the executive grill, that smirk playing at the corner of his mouth. He'd been watching us all afternoon, watching her all afternoon. She walked toward him without looking back, her heels clicking against the concrete patio like little hammers driving nails into something already dead. I stood there, hands still suspended in air, dirt under my fingernails from the construction site, my company polo shirt wrinkled from 12 hours of real work. Someone coughed. A woman from accounting touched my shoulder with pity in her eyes. I could feel everyone's stares, some pitying, some uncomfortable, some amused. This was entertainment for them. My humiliation was their weekend barbecue gossip. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. She's embarrassed of your work clothes. Want to know why? I looked up. Rebecca was laughing at something David said, her hand on his forearm. That touch so easy, so natural. The way she used to touch me in our first year together. She never touched me like that anymore. Not in public, not in 6 years. In public, I was invisible. At home, I was an inconvenience. I deleted the message. My reflection stared back from the sliding glass doors. Dusty boots that had walked 100 job sites. Jeans that had seen honest labor. Meanwhile, Rebecca's outfit cost more than most people's monthly rent. I knew because I'd seen the credit card statement before she started hiding them. I left without saying goodbye. She didn't notice. Please, before I continue, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. I sat in my Ford F-250 for 20 minutes before I could turn the key. My phone kept lighting up, not from Rebecca, of course, never from Rebecca, from my father's voice in my head. He'd been dead 2 years now, heart attack on a job site while I watched helplessly. But I still heard his warning from that Sunday dinner 8 years ago. Mijo, that woman looks at you like you're beneath her, not beside her. I told Dad he was wrong. I defended Rebecca at Sunday dinners, at the hospital, when Dad was dying. Even at the funeral Rebecca missed because David needed her for the quarterly review, I'd made excuses for her. She's ambitious, Dad. She's driven. That's not a bad thing. My hands were shaking. I opened my phone and started scrolling. I don't know why. Maybe I needed proof I wasn't crazy. Maybe I needed to see it all laid out in front of me. Our anniversary last year, canceled. David needs me for the pipeline meeting. We'll celebrate next week, I promise. We never did. My sister Rose's wedding 2 years ago. She left halfway through the reception. Work emergency, baby. I'm so sorry. Last month, I planned a surprise dinner for her promotion. Reservations at her favorite steakhouse, flowers on the table. She never came home, texted me at midnight. Staying late at the office? Don't wait up. I scrolled further back. Photos from company events, Christmas parties, awards ceremonies, networking dinners. In every single one, Rebecca wasn't wearing her wedding ring. Not one. I zoomed in on a picture from last year's holiday party, her left hand bare, resting on someone's shoulder. I couldn't see whose face it was in the photo, but the expensive watch was visible. Rolex Submariner, like the one David wore. My chest felt tight. I drove home on autopilot, my mind replaying every excuse, every late night, every time she'd flinched when I tried to hold her hand in public. The house was dark when I arrived. Rebecca's laptop sat open on the kitchen counter, screen still glowing. She always closed it, always. Privacy was sacred to her. My heart hammered as I walked closer. An email draft unsent. The subject line read, Thursday overtime. The body. David, about what happened in your office last Thursday. We need to be more careful. If Jake finds out, I couldn't read the rest. My vision blurred. My hands gripped the counter. My phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. Ask her about the Marriott on Main Street. I called Miguel Santos the next morning at 6 a.m. He came recommended by a divorce lawyer I Googled at 3 in the morning, while Rebecca slept peacefully beside me, or pretended to sleep. I couldn't tell anymore what was real with her and what was performance. Miguel met me at a diner on the north side, the kind with cracked vinyl booths and coffee strong enough to wake the dead. Rebecca would never be caught dead in a place like this. She only drank artisanal lattes from places with wait lists. He was mid-50s, graying mustache, tired eyes that had seen too much human ugliness. "How long have you suspected?" he asked, sliding into the booth across from me. Honestly, years. But I kept telling myself I was paranoid, that I was being insecure, that successful women need space and independence. He nodded slowly like he'd heard this 1,000 times before. They always make us think we're crazy first. It's part of the game. He slid a contract across the table. "Give me 1 week. If there's something to find, I'll find it. If there's nothing, I'll tell you that too. Either way, you'll have the truth." It took him 4 days. We met in his car outside a Home Depot parking lot, away from cameras, away from anyone who might recognize me. He handed me a manila envelope like we were in some spy movie. My hands shook as I opened it. This was it. The moment that would either confirm my worst fears or prove I was paranoid. Photos, dozens of them, time-stamped, dated, labeled. Rebecca and David leaving the Marriott downtown at 11:30 p.m. on a Thursday. Rebecca and David at a wine bar on West Gray. Her hand on his thigh, both laughing. Rebecca and David in his BMW. Her head tilted back, his hand touching her face. In one photo, he was tucking her hair behind her ear. The same gesture I used to do back when she let me touch her. "There's more," Miguel said quietly, watching my face. "Last Thursday night, the one mentioned in that email you told me about. They were at the Marriott for 3 hours. Room 847. I have the check-in time, the check-out time, everything. They used his corporate card. Didn't even try to hide it." My throat closed. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. "Mr. Martinez, I've been doing this for 18 years. I've seen hundreds of cases. But there's something else here. Something bigger than just an affair. Your wife's boss, David Walsh. He's done this before, multiple times. Same company, same pattern. I found 5 other women, similar situations. Promotions dangled like carrots, affairs that last 6 months to a year. Then the women mysteriously get transferred to dead-end positions or fired." He paused, letting that sink in. "I need 2 more days to confirm something about the company structure, but I think this goes deeper than you know." A package arrived at my house that afternoon, while Rebecca was at work. No return address, hand-delivered. Inside, a hotel keycard and a note with tomorrow's date and room 847, 7 p.m., written in unfamiliar handwriting. Someone wanted me to see it myself. I made Rebecca's favorite dinner that night. Grilled salmon with lime cilantro sauce, roasted vegetables, the expensive Chardonnay she liked from that vineyard in Napa. She came home at 9:15, 2 hours later than she'd promised, surprised to see candles lit on the dining table. "What's this?" she asked, dropping her designer purse on the counter with a thud. "Just wanted to do something nice. We haven't had dinner together in weeks." She sat down, suspicious but hungry. We ate in silence for a few minutes. I watched her, really watched her. The way she checked her phone every 30 seconds, the way she avoided eye contact. When had she become a stranger? When had I become so invisible to her that she couldn't even pretend for one meal? "I know about you and David," said quietly, setting down my fork. Her fork froze halfway to her mouth. For a second, just a second, I saw panic flash across her face. Her pupils dilated, her breath caught. Then it was gone, replaced by something worse. Amusement. She laughed. Actually laughed. A short dismissive sound that felt like a slap. "Jake, grow up." "Excuse me? You think this is about love? About romance?" She set down her fork and leaned back in her chair, studying me like I was a child who didn't understand basic mathematics. "David is going to make me regional VP, vice president, Jake. Do you understand what that means? The salary alone is $180,000 plus stock options, plus a company car, plus respect. We're married, Rebecca, and you're a construction supervisor making $65,000 a year. She said it like it was poison in her mouth. You've been at the same position for 6 years. 6 years, Jake. No ambition, no drive, no... She waved her hand dismissively. You're sweet, you're stable, you're safe, but you're in the way of what I need. Each word was a knife. I'd known somewhere deep down, but hearing it out loud shattered something inside me I didn't know could still break. So that's it. Our marriage means nothing. She stood up, checking her phone again. Probably David texting. I have to meet David in an hour. We're finalizing my promotion details. She grabbed her purse, reapplied her lipstick using her phone camera. Don't wait up. Actually, I might stay late at the office tonight. Big day tomorrow. She walked toward the door, heels clicking against our hardwood floors. Then she paused, hand on the doorknob, and looked back at me with something almost like sympathy. Jake, I do care about you, but caring doesn't pay for the life I want. Caring doesn't get me into the rooms where decisions are made. The door closed behind her with a soft click. I sat there for a long time, staring at her half-eaten salmon, her wine glass still half full. Then I whispered to the empty room, Goodbye, Rebecca. She hadn't heard me, but she would understand soon enough. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I made calls. First call, 11:30 p.m. My lawyer, Carlos Rodriguez. I'd kept him on retainer for 4 years, ever since I sold my construction company. Rebecca didn't know about Carlos. She didn't know about a lot of things. She thought I was just a construction supervisor who couldn't afford a lawyer. Carlos, it's time. File the papers tomorrow morning. You're absolutely sure about this, Jake? His voice was careful, measured. He'd been through this conversation with me twice before, talked me down from pulling the trigger. Once we file, there's no going back. I thought about the hotel keycard sitting on my desk, about my father's funeral that Rebecca missed, about 6 years of being treated like I was barely worth acknowledging, about tonight's dinner where she'd chosen David over our marriage without even pretending to hesitate. I'm sure, more sure than I've ever been. Second call, 12:05 a.m., my private bank. The manager knew me personally, had handled my account since the company's sale. I need to withdraw every penny from joint account number 7824, all of it, tomorrow morning. Mr. Martinez, that's $95,000. I know exactly how much it is. It's my money from the company's sale. Rebecca contributed $8,000 over 6 years. Leave her that. Transfer the rest to my personal account. Third call, 12:20 a.m. Premier Moving Company, the kind that works overnight for the right price. I need everything moved by tomorrow afternoon, everything except her clothes and personal items. I'll have it all labeled. Can you do it? For the price you're offering, sir, we can have 4 trucks there by noon. Fourth call, 12:35 a.m. American Express, Chase, Visa. I was the primary holder on all our cards. Rebecca was just an authorized user, a detail she'd never paid attention to. I need to report the cards as lost and cancel them immediately. Yes, all of them. No, don't send replacements to the house address. By sunrise, I'd dismantled 6 years of marriage with phone calls and electronic signatures. Miguel called at 7:45 a.m. I confirmed it. David Walsh has done this 7 times in the past 8 years. Targets married women in the company, promises promotions, has affairs, then discards them when they're no longer useful or when their husbands become problems. His ex-wife divorced him for this exact pattern. I've got written testimony from 3 of his previous victims. They're willing to talk. Send everything to Carlos Rodriguez. He's my lawyer. And Miguel, send me your final bill. Add a 50% bonus. You've earned it. There's one more thing, Mr. Martinez. He paused. Your wife doesn't know who you really are, does she? She doesn't know about the company's sale. No, I wanted her to love me for me, not for what I had. Good. Keep it that way for now. The reveal will be much more effective. The movers arrived at 9 a.m. sharp. 4 trucks, 8 men, all professionals. I'd packed Rebecca's clothes myself the night before, every designer outfit, every pair of shoes, her makeup, her jewelry, her personal photos. I put them in garbage bags in the master bedroom. Not to be cruel, I wanted her to see what she'd reduced our marriage to. Trash bags in an empty room. Everything else went into the trucks. The furniture we'd bought together, legally mine now. The TV she'd insisted we needed. The bed where she'd stopped touching me 3 years ago. The kitchen table where we'd eaten in silence for months. By 4:15 p.m., the house was empty except for her belongings in garbage bags and one envelope on the kitchen counter. I changed every lock, shut off the main power, transferred the lease to a holding company I owned. Inside the envelope, a single note. You chose your boss over your husband. Now you have neither. What Rebecca didn't know was that I wasn't just Jake Martinez, construction supervisor making $65,000 a year. I was Jake Martinez, founder and CEO of Martinez Construction Empire. 4 years ago, I built that company from one truck into a $50 million operation that handles major commercial projects across Houston. The company I sold to focus on my marriage, but really transferred to a shell corporation I control. And yesterday afternoon, through that shell corporation, I bought a controlling stake in Titan Energy Solutions, the company where my wife works. The company where David Walsh is about to learn what happens when you mess with the wrong man's wife. I watched from my truck across the street, parked under a broken streetlight where shadows kept me invisible. Rebecca's Uber pulled up at 11:20 p.m. She was on her phone, laughing. I could hear it from across the street, probably talking to David, probably celebrating whatever promotion he'd promised her tonight. She looked happy, radiant even, her hair perfect, her makeup flawless, her dress expensive. She looked like a woman who'd won. She tried her key in the front door. It didn't work. I saw her face change, confusion first, flickering across her features, then annoyance. She tried again, jiggling the key aggressively like the lock was broken. She knocked, called my name. Jake! Jake! What the hell? Is the lock broken? Her voice carried across the quiet suburban street. She used her phone flashlight to peer through the front window, the living room window where our couch used to sit, where we used to watch movies on Friday nights back when she still came home on Fridays. That's when she saw it, or rather didn't see it. No furniture, no lights, no curtains, nothing but empty walls and bare floors. What the fuck? She pressed her face against the glass. She started pounding on the door with both fists. Jake! Jake, open this door right now. What the hell is going on? She tried the garage code. I'd changed it. She ran to the back door, stumbling in her heels. Changed that lock too. She tried every window on the first floor. All locked, all dark. I watched her circle the house twice, increasingly frantic, before she stopped in the front yard, phone pressed to her ear, calling me. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I let it ring. It stopped, started again immediately. Stopped, started again. She called 38 times in 20 minutes. I counted every single one. Finally, she seemed to remember something. She ran to the kitchen window, the one that faced the street. She picked up a rock from the garden, my garden that I'd planted and she'd never watered once in 6 years, and broke the glass. The sound echoed through the neighborhood. A dog started barking 2 houses down. A porch light came on across the street. She climbed through, cutting her hand on the glass shards. I could see the blood dark against her pale skin. She didn't even notice. She was too focused on getting inside. She found the envelope on the kitchen counter under her phone's flashlight beam. I watched her shadow through the window as she read it, once, twice, 3 times, like the words would change if she read them enough. You chose your boss over your husband. Now you have neither. Her scream was raw, primal, animal. It echoed through the neighborhood. The dog barked louder. She ran upstairs. I knew what she'd find. Her clothes in garbage bags. The closet where my clothes used to hang, empty and clean. The bathroom where I kept my razor, sanitized like I'd never existed. She came back downstairs, stumbling, hyperventilating. She tried calling me again, 18 more times. Then her phone rang, different ringtone. Not me, someone else. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I watched her face go from devastated to confused to terrified in less than 30 seconds. She grabbed her purse, ran to her car parked in the driveway, and drove off going at least 50 in a residential zone. I checked my watch. 12:25 a.m., right on schedule. David had just called her into his office for an emergency meeting. This was going to be very, very good. Miguel had bugged David's office 3 days ago, using equipment he swore was mostly legal in this jurisdiction. It wouldn't hold up in court, but I didn't need it for court. I needed it for the satisfaction of hearing everything fall apart in real time. I sat in my new downtown apartment, a penthouse that Rebecca didn't know I owned, 3 bedrooms with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Houston skyline, and listened through my wireless earbuds while drinking scotch that cost more than our old monthly rent. Rebecca's voice came through first, breathless and panicked. "David, something crazy happened. Jake he took everything. The house is completely empty. I don't understand what's happening. I need your help. David's voice cut through, cold as winter. "Sit down, Rebecca." "What?" "No, you don't understand. I need to figure out where he went. Sit down." The command in his voice was absolute. Silence. Then the sound of a chair scraping against his office floor. "Rebecca, I'm letting you go. Effective immediately. Security will escort you out of the building within the hour." "What?" "But you promised me VP. You said after tonight, after the investor meeting, you'd make the announcement. You promised. That was before I found out who your husband really is. Jake, he's nobody. He's just a construction supervisor making $65,000 a year. He doesn't even... Jake Martinez." David's voice was flat, emotionless. "Does that name mean anything to you?" Long silence. I could hear Rebecca's breathing getting faster through the microphone. "Let me help you since you clearly married a man without bothering to Google him. Jake Martinez, founder and CEO of Martinez Construction Empire, sold the majority stake to Henderson Development Group 4 years ago for $50 million. Jake Martinez, who just bought controlling interest in our parent company yesterday through a shell corporation called Artemis Holdings. Jake Martinez, who made his first demand as our new majority shareholder exactly 2 hours ago." I could hear something fall, probably Rebecca's purse. "Do you want to know what he demanded, Rebecca?" No, that's not... Jake doesn't have money. We barely afford our mortgage. We drive a Honda Civic. He shops at Target. That's not... You're lying. He demanded that you be terminated with cause for having an inappropriate relationship with a superior. No severance package, no references, your name flagged in our HR system as ineligible for rehire. But you said you loved me. You said... David laughed. "Loved you? Rebecca, you were convenient. You were willing. You were so desperate to climb the corporate ladder that you'd do anything I asked. Women like you are everywhere. Easy to find, easy to manipulate, easy to discard. You bastard." Her voice was breaking. "There's more. Your husband also provided our board of directors with a very detailed file about my relationships with employees over the past 8 years. 7 women, Rebecca. You were number 7. HR is launching a formal investigation. I'll probably be forced to resign by end of week. So, congratulations. You didn't just destroy your own career. You destroyed mine too. I'll sue. I'll go to the press. Oh, with what money? Your husband owns the best lawyers in the state and half the press. He just bought a controlling stake in the Houston Business Journal last month." David laughed again. "Go ahead. Tell them how you cheated on a multimillionaire because you thought he was poor. See how that plays out for you. Get out of my office. Security will escort you out. Don't come back. Don't call. Don't email. You're done here." The sound of Rebecca crying, sobbing, then footsteps. A door slamming. I pulled out my earbuds and poured myself another scotch. The expensive kind. Macallan, 18. The kind Rebecca always said we couldn't afford. My phone buzzed. A video I'd recorded this afternoon, sent on a timer to her personal email. Rebecca would be watching it in about 3 minutes, probably sitting in her car in the parking garage, mascara running down her face, security guards waiting to escort her out, her whole world crumbling around her. I'd recorded it in this penthouse with the city skyline behind me through the massive windows. Professional lighting, calm delivery, devastating content. I imagined Rebecca watching it on her phone right now, probably sitting in her car in the parking garage, her career in ruins. Everything she'd worked for destroyed in a single conversation. My face filled her screen and I was smiling. Not cruel, just satisfied. "Hello, Rebecca. By now you've talked to David. You know you're fired. You've seen our empty house. You're probably wondering how your nobody husband did all this. How the man you spent 6 years looking down on suddenly has the power to destroy your entire career with a single phone call. I took a sip of scotch in the video, holding the bottle up so she could see the label. Macallan 18, $400 a bottle, the kind she'd always wanted but said we couldn't afford. Let me tell you a story. When I was 24 years old, I started Martinez Construction with one truck and a $10,000 loan from my father. You remember my father, don't you? The one whose funeral you missed because David needed you for a presentation? I paused, letting that sink in. Let her remember that day. Let her feel the weight of every choice she'd made. I built that company into a $50 million empire, Rebecca. Commercial buildings, oil refineries, half the new construction in Houston. But my girlfriend at the time, her name was Sandra, she left me the week after I landed my first major contract. Said I worked too much, that I cared more about concrete and steel than I did about her. Another sip of scotch. I was devastated. 27 years old, more successful than I'd ever dreamed, and completely alone. So, I decided something. My next relationship would be real. I'd scale back the business, live modestly, work a regular job, find someone who loved me for who I was, not what I had built. I leaned forward in the video, looking directly into the camera, directly at her. I met you 7 months later at that coffee shop on 3rd Street. You were beautiful, ambitious, smart, charming. You laughed at my jokes. You seemed genuine. I fell in love with you, Rebecca. Real love, the kind I thought I'd never find. We got married within 2 years, and I told myself I'd reveal everything on our 6th anniversary. If you still love me after 6 years of a supposedly normal life, then I'd know it was real. My smile faded in the video. But you didn't make it to 6 years, did you? You didn't love me. You resented me. You hated that I was just a supervisor. You hated my practical gifts. You hated my lack of ambition. You hated me so much that you slept with your boss and humiliated me in front of his entire company because you thought I was too worthless to defend. I set down the glass, my face hardening. You thought I was weak. You thought I was nobody. You thought I had nothing to offer you. You were wrong about everything. I held up a document to the camera. Remember our honeymoon in Cabo? Remember that prenup my lawyer Carlos emailed you? You were drunk on sangria and laughing about wedding cake flavors. You signed it on your phone without reading a single word because you were too in love to care about paperwork. I flipped through the pages. It says that, in case of proven infidelity, which I have, thanks to a very thorough private investigator, the cheating spouse receives a minimum payout of $15,000 and nothing else. All assets I brought into the marriage remain separate property. That's $50 million you'll never see, never touch, never benefit. From... I stood up, straightening my shirt. Behind me, the Houston skyline glittered. I'm the majority shareholder in your company now, Rebecca. I own the house you just broke into. I own the cars, the bank accounts, everything. Your credit cards are canceled. Your access to our accounts removed. Your career destroyed, and it's all completely legal. I picked up my phone, pretending to check something. Oh, and one more thing. Enjoy explaining to your next employer why Jake Martinez's ex-wife shouldn't be hired. My name comes up in every background check. Every HR department will Google you. They'll find out what you did. Good luck with that. The video ended with me walking out of frame, the city lights twinkling behind where I'd stood. I checked my laptop. Rebecca had watched it 11 times in a row. Her voicemail box was full of messages from her, sobbing, begging, promising to change. I deleted them all without listening. For 2 weeks, Rebecca tried everything. She called from different numbers, her mother's landline, her sister's phone, borrowed phones from strangers. I blocked them all. She emailed from multiple accounts. I filtered everything with her name to spam. She showed up at my old job site, the fake one where I pretended to work for 6 years while actually running my company from behind the scenes. They told her I'd quit 2 years ago, that I'd never really worked there full time. Just consulted occasionally. Her confusion must have been delicious. She camped outside Carlos Rodriguez's law office on a Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. I'd expected this. We'd planned for it. Carlos was ready with the paperwork. "Mrs. Martinez, you can't be here," he said, walking past her toward the building entrance, briefcase in hand. "Please." She grabbed his arm. Her hair was unwashed. She wasn't wearing makeup. This wasn't the polished Rebecca I'd known. This was someone desperate. "I need to talk to Jake. Just 5 minutes, please. I made a mistake. I know I did. I'll do anything." Carlos stopped, turned, looked at her with professional coldness. He doesn't want to speak to you. He's made that abundantly clear. 6 years of marriage has to mean something. It has to. You can't just throw away 6 years. Did it mean something when you were sleeping with your boss for 8 months? Did it mean something when you missed his father's funeral because your lover needed you? Did it mean something when you told him he was in the way of your career? When you humiliated him in front of 25 people because he tried to show affection? Rebecca's face crumpled. Tears started streaming. Real ones, I think. Maybe. Carlos handed her a manila envelope. Sign the divorce papers. Walk away with $15,000. That's more than generous considering what you've done. Or refuse and we go to court, where you'll spend $15,000 on lawyers and end up with nothing. You signed a prenup. You committed adultery. The evidence is irrefutable. You have no legal grounds to contest anything. Rebecca opened the envelope with shaking hands. She dropped the papers twice before managing to read the first page. $15,000? That's it? That's all I get? That's $15,000 more than you deserve. Mr. Martinez is being generous. Where am I supposed to live? I can't afford rent. I lost my job. I have nothing. I'm living with my parents. I'm 34 years old, living in my childhood bedroom. That's not Mr. Martinez's problem anymore. Those are consequences of your own choices. 6 months later, I stood on the deck of my lake house in Conroe, watching the sunset paint the water gold. Carmen Rodriguez, my business partner, and the woman who'd helped me build Martinez Construction from nothing, wrapped her arms around me from behind. We'd been friends for 12 years, partners for 8. And somewhere along the way, while I was healing from Rebecca, while Carmen was helping me remember what it felt like to be valued, we fell in love. Not the desperate, blind love I'd felt for Rebecca. Something steadier, something built on respect and history and genuine partnership. Any regrets? Carmen asked, her chin resting on my shoulder. I thought about Rebecca, probably getting ready for another shift at the Target in Katy, where she'd finally found work. I thought about David Walsh, whose resignation had made the Houston Business Journal. I thought about the life I'd tried to build, with someone who saw me as a stepping stone instead of a destination. None, I said, and meant it. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just getting even. Sometimes it's building something better with someone who actually deserves it.